So welcome students. So in this session we are going to the world of the animals. Till now we were in the world of plants. Now let us all move on to the world of animals. Now when I say animal, your day begins with a cup of tea or a cup of milk, isn't it? You all should be milk drinkers, not tea drinkers. So you begin your day with a glass of milk or a cup of milk. So this milk, you know, it is coming from which animal? You know, cows, buffaloes. So this day beginning only you have this milk. So this milk is nothing but it's a product from animals. That means see, we are getting different kinds of food from animals. So in our day-to-day life or in our daily life, there are so many things which an animal provides us. Like milk I said, then there are so many other animals like, you know, goat, sheep, hen, all these are also forming a source of food for us. So when it is forming a source of food, it is like we have to learn about these animals so that you will have more amount of food we can get, healthy food from these animals. So that is what we are going to learn in our unit, page number 141, production of food from animals. So now, only getting the products will not help. Like we talked, production of food from plants. The farmer was taking care of the crops. Farmer was looking after the crops, weeding. Then he was cutting. Everything he did because he wanted more yield. Same way, we have to also look after those animals. We call it as domesticated animals, isn't it? If you have a shed, you see bullocks are there, bulls are there, bullocks are there, cow, buffalo, all these animals, you see them, they are being reared, isn't it? There are people who are looking after it. They take it to different areas where there is a lot of greenery so that they will have complete food. That food is needed for its survival, for that animal survival, and if the animal remains healthy, you will have good supply of milk. That process is called as animal husbandry. So 141 page, you can see animal husbandry. So what is this animal husbandry? On page 141, I think third paragraph, you have to underline. Animal husbandry is nothing but providing food. Providing food, then providing shelter, then protection. Protection and breeding. It is all together. We call it as what? Animal husbandry. Husbandry. Followed. Husbandry is, animal husbandry is nothing but where you are looking after the animals. That means you have to provide the food. Suppose you take the example of buffaloes. You have to provide hay, you have to provide the grass so that it will get the food. Then you have to provide the shelter. You cannot tie a buffalo in your house, isn't it? You cannot give a room for a buffalo. There should be special sheds constructed for this buffaloes or cows. Shelter. Then protection. You have to protect it from wild animals, you have to protect it from cold, you have to protect it from heat. All this process comes under protection. Last one is breeding. Breeding means now you have to increase their number. That process is called as breeding. So all this together comes under animal husbandry. So now this animal husbandry is not a new branch. From olden days we have seen when man was roaming from one place to another. He was a wanderer going from one place to another in search of food, clothing, shelter. He also was undergoing this animal husbandry, knowingly, unknowingly. So now here, you know, these animals, you cannot bring a tiger and tie it, isn't it? Because tiger comes into the group of wild animals. So these animals are tamed. They are called as domesticated animals. And when you domesticate these animals, you can get the useful products, because animals are also giving us some useful products which we can use it for our own purposes. So we can domesticate. So now normally we domesticate. What are the animals we domesticate for milk? You know, buffaloes, cows. Then next we have another group of animals like hens, goats, sheep. We domesticate these animals for basically not for milk, it is for meat. Then we have ox, horse, bulls. I think on page 142, second paragraph, you have to underline all this. These are the uses, useful or usefulness of these animals. Not only for carrying the loads, isn't it? Ox, horse, bulls, donkeys. They are used for agricultural purposes. You see, you use it for plowing the field. Bulls. Again, plowing is there. Then we have agriculture. Then we have transportation. Bullock carts are there. Then we have horse-ridden carts. So like this. So now here we are getting nutrients. We just talked about in the last chapter that we get food from plants. Not only plants, even animals are also giving us food, isn't it? All those non-vegetarian lovers, isn't it? You all love non-vegetarian food, those who are non-vegetarian. So you get even food from where? From animals also. But animals indirectly depend on plants. Now next process here in 142 page is cattle rearing. Cattle rearing means now here people in the villages, in rural areas, they look after or they take care or domesticate certain animals like on page 142, cattle rearing. Now what is the group of this cattle? We are calling cattle. Cattle means not only cows, not only buffaloes. It can be bullocks, underline, second line, third line. Cows, buffaloes, bullocks, goats, sheep, pigs, hens. These are all coming under a broad group of cattle. So now here when you talk about domesticating animals, when you talk about cattle rearing, don't forget these things. These 4 things you should provide. Then only you can look after that animals. Only for milk means if you take milk and then you leave the cow and buffalo means it will not give you, the next time the milk liters will decrease because you didn't give it nutrients or you didn't give it the proper food. Normally you have seen this buffaloes and cows, they are going from one field to another field. They go to the areas where there is lot of greenery or grass. So that is called as grazing. Normally a person is there behind with a stick, he will be there. He will look after, he will be a grazer. He will take all these cows and buffaloes for grazing. So now here this is cattle rearing, which is important because now here there will be a person in charge of all these cattle. He will look after it. So now here not only rearing of cattle, even bulls, cows, buffaloes are also being done. Now we are using, of course nowadays we have tractors and all, that is mechanized farming. But in olden days there were bullocks, ox which were used for plowing the field. So now here rearing of not only cows and buffaloes, even goats, sheep are also coming under this cattle rearing. Now normally you know this sheep. We are having this sheep normally because sheep gives us wool. So now not only food, its health also is very important. Health of the animal also is very important. That is protection. It comes under this animal husbandry. You have to keep the cow, buffalo clean, its body clean, isn't it? You give a proper bath, you brush and all, you keep its body clean so that it will be free from lice, lice. On head, if you don't keep your own hairs neat and clean, you get lice. So that all ticks, lice and all will be there. And above all this, how you go to hospital when you are sick, isn't it? So there is a special hospital even for the animals. That hospitals are called as veterinary hospitals, and the doctors are called as veterinary doctors. So veterinary doctors are none other than those people who treat the animals. So now next page 144. When you go to 144 page, you can see there is a pie diagram, figure 3, about milk production. Now when we talk about milk production, we get milk from cattle. When I say cattle, in that cattle there is cows, buffaloes, camel, goat, sheep, donkeys also. All these come. But normally or the highest level we get maximum milk from whom? If you look at figure 3, red color is what? That is cow. Then second is buffalo. We are saying cow's milk is very healthy because it contains less fat compared to buffalo milk. Second is buffaloes. Third, you can see a blue small range. That small range is of donkey, camel, goat and sheep. So they too provide milk, isn't it? In desert areas and all, in some Arab countries, they even drink the milk of camel. But in our state it is not very common. Next is a milk production graph. When you see at production, the highest is in Israel, and you can see lowest is in India, milk production. And normally a cow per day it gives 2 to 5 liters, normal cow. But there are some examples like figure 4 you can see, Jersey. That's a very high breed of cow which gives many liters of milk. Now you come to page 144, below the graph, second page. Murrah species. Murrah species is a breed of cow which gives nearly how many liters of milk? 8 liters of milk. Normal cow will give 2 to 5 liters, but this Murrah species, underline this Murrah species, they give you 8 liters. And this Murrah species are found in Haryana, Jafrabad and Nagpuri. So these are the traditional varieties of cows in our country. So in our country, these are very famous, from Haryana, Jafrabad and Nagpuri breed, which gives us good quality of milk. Next is Jersey cow, Jersey. Jersey is from England, and Holstein, you can see these two, Holstein and Jersey is not from India, it is from foreign country. Jersey is from England and Holstein is from Denmark. So these are all foreigners for us. Though foreigners, they give lot variety, that is they give 25 liters of milk per day. These foreign varieties are crossbred with our native. Crossbreeding means now they are breeding the variety of Jersey with a normal cow in our India, and you get a crossbreeding. Crossbreeding means the generation will have some qualities from Jersey, some quality from our normal cow. And what is the range of them? It is 8 to 20 liters of milk per day. See, remember, normal cow gives you 2 to 5. While our Jersey cow, how much it is giving? 25. And if you do this breeding, you get a cow variety which is giving you 8 to 20. See, that means the milk production increased. The production of milk is increasing if you do crossbreeding. So cows are very important in our country for the production of milk. So now what is the use of this milk? What purposes are we using? What are the milk products you know? Isn't it? Early morning, just you said you drink milk. Okay, after that when you come to lunch time, you have rice and then you have the dal, and you see your mother is sprinkling that 1 spoon of that hot ghee onto your rice. See, ghee. So this ghee, from where is it coming? It is coming from the cream. Cream, from where is it coming? From the milk. Milk, from where is it coming? It is coming from the cow. So that means ghee. Then you have Diwali, isn't it? Then Diwali season, your mother may make so many sweet dishes. Gulab jamun is there. Then you have pedhas. Then you have so many varieties. Mouth is watering. So this sweet dishes, normally it comes from a product, milk product, that is called as khova. Isn't it? Khova, khoya, whatever it is. Then one more thing in the lunch time you have is your buttermilk. Buttermilk is nothing but coming from curd. Then we have milk powder. So these are all milk products. Then cheese, many varieties are there. All these are the products coming from milk. So page number 145, fourth line. Second and third line you underline. Examples of milk products. Now, what is that area where this milk is collected and it is processed? You have seen cover milks, isn't it? Cover milks. So different Amul milks are there. So that milk packets, processing, that all process is done in a farm, that is called as dairy farm. So for dairy farm, you need the villagers will collect the milk, then they will bring it to the center. Isn't it? In somewhere here also there is some center. They collect all the milk from the rural areas. And they give less money, and when they carry it and when it comes in plastic covers for us, it is very costly for us. So milk collection is there, then it is sent to the chilling center, figure 6, figure 7. So there is one process which is done for milk to keep it, isn't it? Your cover milk, it will remain fresh for many days because that milk is undergoing one process. That process is called as pasteurization. So what is this pasteurization? Pasteurization is nothing but a process in which we are killing or we are destroying the microorganisms. Microorganisms for what degree? You know, for 63 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. See, this is done in the dairy farms. This pasteurization is done in the dairy farms. That is 63 degrees you are heating or boiling the milk for 63 degrees at 63 degrees for 30 minutes. And this will kill all the disease causing microorganisms. And after boiling, it is immediately cooled. It is cooled at which temperature? 10 degrees Celsius. And this process total is done in the milk chilling center. You can see milk chilling center in figure 7. So here, this is the process is called as pasteurization. This pasteurization was a method found out, or it is in the honor of the scientist named Louis Pasteur, who found out this method. So milk chilling centers may be there in some areas near our locality, but mainly the Amul factory, which is there in Anand. That is a very famous, Amul cheese, Amul butter. So this is a very famous thing which is present in Gujarat, Anand. So now here milk, even see they have given the name of Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is the highest milk producing state in India. Our state is taking many, see our state means Telangana also is taking steps, but which is the highest milk producer? Uttar Pradesh. Now it is shown that in some months, if you look at graph 2, page 145, in which month can you see the higher production? In the month of November. So now it is in the month of November where it is high production of milk. Next page, when you come 146, you can see one photograph of a man. He is the father of White Revolution. We talked many a times in GK, White Revolution. His name is Verghese Fourier. He is the father of White Revolution, and what did he do? He was the one who started this operation method or cooperation between the villagers for the collection of the milk and sending it to the center, and then production of milk was increasing, and that operation is called as Operation Flood. Underline, father of White Revolution, and he increased which production? Milk production. And it was not done by a single person or a single villager. It was a cooperative effect. So there was a society which was started, cooperative society, and they together made great profit together. So this is all about the milk production, and which are those doctors, or who are those doctors who are dealing with animals? We call them as veterinary doctor. So next is it is called as livestock keeping. See, remember this milk, normally it is given, do you know, figure 146 page number, you can see that milk, isn't it? You all know that when a newborn child, the child is drinking mother's milk. This mother's milk is very, very, very good for immunity of the child for 1 year, mother's milk, because that contains lot of immunoglobulins. And you can see in do you know, this milk which contains what? Fats. Remember, underline, why should we drink milk? Because milk contains fat, proteins, carbohydrates, minerals and vitamins. Which vitamins? A, B and E. So this milk is very important for our health. It's very important. So see that you drink milk. Again, when I say milk, there is one other type of milk. I think it is very common nowadays in every videos and all. You can see that milk is getting mixed up. It is called as adulterated milk. Adulterated means it is getting mixed up with some chemicals. Next, do you know box? It is mixed with urea, atta, these all mixed together, and you get that white liquid, that is called as milk for them, but that is not the correct type of milk. So milk should be taken, but it should be not adulterated. It should be fresh milk directly from the farm, isn't it? So milk is very good for our health. Hope you all drink fresh milk, not any adulterated milk. So have milk if you want proteins, carbohydrates, minerals, vitamins, especially A, B, E. So have milk regularly. Thank you.